Okay, so in the last class we were discussing about the impedance, different types of impedances, which we have.
Sir, your voice is too low, sir.
Now is it fine? Hello.
No, sir.
No. Now.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So we were discussing about the different types of impedances. That is intrinsic impedance of the medium or medium impedance, we can call it as. Next one, wave impedance for different types of waves, and also characteristic impedance of particular line, transmission line, or any traveling wave if you take. So these are the types of impedances, and also we looked into the whatever the port it will be having, like capacitive reactance, whether it will produce, or maybe capacitive or inductive reactance. So whatever the impedance we can calculate by using these equations, we can able to calculate the impedance and also the power flow into the network. Okay, so now, so earlier, as I told, there is a special kind of a device is there to measure the impedance values as well as this VSWR and all. So that we'll call it as vector network analyzer. That we will see how it will be, and the picture I will show. So now coming to the impedance and admittance matrices, how these matrices it will come. So now we are just taking in the one port at some point the voltage which we have taken, okay, to measure it. Now in the same port or in the similar fashion, if you put one or two or more ports, say for example port 1, port 2, port 3, like that, and if I want to measure the voltage at each and every port, then it will become a matrix type. Okay, so see for example here, if I take only one port, you will get the only one voltage and current value at that particular port, or particular reference plane, terminal plane. If I take two or more ports in the same network, so then it will become a multiple port network, and we can define that port network parameters in terms of matrices. So that matrices maybe you can take impedance matrices, or it may be admittance matrices. Okay, so as I said, if I want to measure voltage and currents at various points of the network, microwave network, then we can derive that in terms of matrix description. Okay, so and also you can calculate the port quantities. So at particular port, if you take, so what is the phase of the incoming wave or outgoing wave, what is the phase of that wave at this terminal plane, and also what is the value of current and voltage and also impedance at this, exactly at this point, we can able to measure. So either it may be in terms of impedance or it may be in terms of admittance. Okay, by using this method you can useful design of passive component, like you might have studied already, like ring resonator or branch line coupler. In future you also will study these passive components, coupler design, and circulator, isolator. Many passive components are there in microwave engineering, so that we can useful in designing of those components, it will be very much useful, like couplers and filters. uh, Different types of filters also there, microstrip filters, like you can use as like your circuit schematic or circuit components. You can design low pass filter in the microstrip structure, high pass filter, band pass, band stop filter, all the types of filters also you can able to design in this using microwave circuit concept. Okay, so actually whatever we are discussing here, different ports, that port name which is actually introduced by the scientist H.A. Wheeler in 1950, and also it replaces the like less descriptive. We cannot like directly say that voltage current at this particular point. We can directly say that voltage and current at port 1, port 2, like that. Okay, whatever the number you specify for that particular port, you can able to get the values from that corresponding port.
Sir, your screen is not shared.
Okay, might have told earlier itself. Now why you people are, you didn't tell the. Okay, so earlier we described the port 1, right? So here, so the impedance, how we can able to arrive, and as well as power flow. If we have one port, we can easily find out the voltage and current at this particular port, right? Okay, so if I want to measure at different parts of the network, okay, now how we can do? So this is by using the matrix method. So this is a multi-port network. So now is it visible, right? I think it's visible. Okay, so
Yes,
this
sir.
is this is a multi-port network. If I want to measure the voltage or impedance or current at this particular port, so we can easily measure. Okay, so in terms of matrices, all the port parameters we can able to represent it. Okay, either you can in terms of impedance matrix, admittance matrix. Okay, so like that you can able to uh, use these parameters in terms of matrix for easy calculation and also design. Okay, so as I said, different passive components using this microwave concept as well as port parametric structures. So you can design many components like couplers, filters, as like your in the circuit schematic you will build the filters. In the similar way, you can design using this microwave concept, microwave passive components. Okay, as I said, this port. Say for example, if I take this as a port 1, port 2, port 3, port 4, and port n. Okay, n number of ports will we can define in terms of in the microwave network. So that port is introduced by this scientist Wheeler. So it is less descriptive. So instead of telling all the time two terminal pair and like that, so we can directly descript as a port. Okay, so in the particular port you can define any like any parameter of incident wave or reflected wave, the phase of those, and as well as the impedance we can able to achieve from this microwave network. So now coming to the port, how we can define the matrices type. So you can see from this, actually we know the equation from the transmission line equation, that is v equal to v plus in t power minus j beta z in t power minus, so plus j beta z, right? That transmission line equation, if you take at the a particular point of length, that is at z equal to 0, then this equation you will get it. Okay, and if you normalize that z as 1 normalized value, okay, so you will get it the z dash 1, and you can write the current equation, because if you write the current equation, it is v by z, right? If you write the current equation, it is v by z. So if you normalize the z value, then you will get it in equal to in plus minus in minus, because z value it will be uh, normalized. Okay, so this is actually two port. If you want to design two port or many type like multiple ports, you can see here we can define like this in terms of voltage and current. So generally we know v equal to z into I. Okay, so different ports are defined from as this structure. So for port 1 the voltage is v1, port 2 voltage is v2, like that. So there are different types of voltage, that is incident voltage and reflected voltage, that we can define it later. But in general we can define v equal to z into I. So that in terms of matrix we can define like this, that is, so if you take the z11, so we can define it as the impedance at port 1. So that 1 represents the incoming and reflected. Okay, so z11 means if you incident the voltage at port 1, what is the reflected so thing at port 1 itself. So if we define that in terms of z1 z, it will become z11. In the similar way you can define different port impedances. Okay, so at specific point on the nth port, a terminal plane Tn is defined along with equivalent voltage and currents for values of uh, incident values of either voltage and current and reflected values. As I said, so you can define so different incident as well as a reflected voltage at this particular, because this terminal plane is very important in referring the phase, how much phase which is there for traveling wave, and what is the phase at the reflected wave which is having at this point. So this is very important while defining the phase, because that phase value it will be giving the accurate result in designing some application like couplers or filters. Okay, so in general we can define it as v equal to z into I in terms of matrix. And if you particular value of port, if you want to define the impedance, it is v by I. So at particular incident voltage and what is the current at the other port for a particular value of the port which is having a current 0 for other particular port. Say only at a time you can excite one port and you can see other ports will be having open circuited, that is current equal to 0, but the same k port should not be equal to the whatever the current which is flowing in the jth port. Okay, so this is how we can define. Say for example, if you want to define z11, so I equal to 1, j equal to 1, what is the corresponding impedance at port 1, you can define it as z11. Or if you want to define z12, that is, so if your incident port is 1 and the current which is flowing from the port 2 which is 2, and we can define it as z12. Okay, like that we can define the impedance values. So as I said, terminal planes are very important in providing the phase information, that is phase reference for this voltage and current phasors. Whatever you define from the port, it is very important. So now you can define in terms of admittance also. So just the equation uh, it will be reversed, that is current it will be in the input side and voltage will be at the output side, and this is your admittance matrix. And you can define in the similar way for impedance values, you can similar way you can define the admittance also. Okay, so for if you just see, so zij or yij element may be either it may be real values or it may be complex, because it will provide some reactance value in terms of complex impedances. So it may be like real or complex. Okay, so say for example, if you take n port network, so which we defined here, this is a n port network. See for example, this is a n port from starting from 1 to n. So if I define an n-port network, then what are all the quantities which are available? That is 2n square. Say for example, if I take n equal to 2, so what it will become? Number of variables it will become 8, because I1, I2 will be there here, V1, V2 will be there here, and there are 4 variables which will be there here: Y11, Y12, Y21, and Y22. So these are 4 and plus 2 plus 2, so totally 8. So that's how you can define the number of quantities which is having variation, which is 2n square. Okay, so now the important in the network micro network, we can see that whether the network is reciprocal or is it symmetric. Okay, so these are all two important properties in which we can see the micro network whether it is reciprocal or lossless. Say for example, if it is reciprocal, then the network is symmetric. Okay, it possesses the symmetry property if it is reciprocal. And if it is lossless, then there is no real power which is delivered to the network. Okay, real power in the sense you will be having the power which is delivered. So if you divide that power in terms of imaginary as well as real power, if the network is lossless, so there is no resistance which is offered from the network. That's why the real power which is flowing into the network, it will be 0. That means if the network is lossless, then there is no uh, real power which is delivered. Then your impedance or admittance elements, which will be always, it will be purely imaginary. Okay, so this is very important properties of the microwave network that we will derive for in terms of, because we don't want for z and y, but it is very important for s matrix, reciprocal and lossless, that we will going to derive how it will be. Okay, so now how we can represent this? We represented now in terms of z as well as in terms of y. Okay, so now how we can represent this network micro network concept in terms of s parameters, that is scattering parameters. So now why do we need this actually the scattering parameters? Okay, why can't we use the same z or y in terms of z or y that micro network can't be defined in terms of that, and is it difficult, or what all the problem exists. So what is the problem? So it is the problem is, it is in the higher frequencies it is difficult to measure voltage and currents. Okay, so direct measurement, it is similar like your lower frequency circuits. So we cannot directly give the signal which is uh, generated from the signal generator, and you will directly give it to the oscilloscope, and you will measure the what is the voltage and current. Okay, but it is not possible in the higher frequencies, because these voltage and currents are derived from the power. So why it is from power? Because the measuring device which is designed in terms of power. So that is actually here, if you see, so this is actually the vector network analyzer, which is used to measure impedance as well as the scattering matrix, VSWR, and also you can see the Smith chart option. That is where exactly the impedance variation with respect to frequency it is having. So this is actually the vector network analyzer, or we can call it as power network analyzer. In some series it is PNA, and in some series they will specify as vector network analyzer. So you can see here so many options, and it is having a 4-port device. In general it will be having 2-port, because uh, due to cost variation, depending upon the designer specific requirements, they will supply this network analyzer. So even if it is having 4-port, the cost will be very much high, and if it is 2-port also, with all the options, it will be very much high. Say for example, if you want to take this vector network analyzer for up to 10 gigahertz, okay, up to 10 gigahertz, it may cost around 20 lakh. Okay, only the 2-port, one port and other port, only for 2 ports up to 10 gigahertz, it may cost around 15 to 20 lakh. So like that, a different application requirement based on the designer specification, so the cost will be go on increasing. So generally the people will take from the vendors up to 10 to 20 gigahertz, because generally this microwave frequency range, it will be very much useful in the range of 1 to 20 gigahertz, because all the wireless application which we are using now, 5G or 4G, belongs within falls within around 20 to 30 gigahertz. So that's why they will prefer. Even you can go next generation wireless communication, you can go beyond 30 gigahertz. So this is the important device which we can measure the S parameters, impedance values, VSWR. So these parameters all you have studied in the transmission line theory. So that all these parameters we can measure using this vector network analyzer. Okay. So that's why, so this network analyzer will directly give the power into the port, and we'll extract the power from port 2, depending upon the whether we need to give like whether we need to get the reflection value or transmission value. Based on that, we'll it will going to display here. Okay, so generally it will give the power value. If you want the voltage, you can extract from that power values. So that's why direct measurement is not involved, that voltage and current. So directly it is given from power. So that power how we will extract, which is based on the standing wave, that is incident wave and as well as reflected wave. Based on that, the power will be extracted. So now this scattering matrix provides complete description of the network seen at its n ports. Say for example, if you're looking at n ports, so from all the ports, if you incident the voltage and reflected voltage, you can calculate, and at each and every port, what is the port description or port characteristics, we can able to see. That's why this S matrix is very much useful, and it relates to voltage waves incident and reflected. As I said, it will relate always the incident voltage and reflected uh, voltage at the different particular ports. Okay, so these scattering parameters can be directly measured using vector network analyzer. So this is a device used to measure it, and also you can transfer this scattering parameters in terms of other matrix also, like Z or Y. You can convert these S parameters in terms of Z and Y, or any other parameters, so that you can use if it is needed. If application requires that, you can able to design it. Now what is the reasons behind using this S matrix? As I said, so the terminal voltage, which is voltage and current, it is there is no measuring equipment directly to measure and voltage and current. So that's why it is uh, S matrix is very much useful, because it is the characteristics of microwave network. It is directly extracted from the power, which is from based on the incident voltage and reflected voltage. It is directly measured from power, then we can extract the voltages. And also you, as like your circuit schematic, short circuit and especially open circuit are not easily achieved for a wide range of frequencies. So in the lower frequency circuit design, so generally the bandwidth, particularly for a particular bandwidth, the open circuit may not cause that much problem. But in higher frequencies, what will happen, this open circuit like kind of thing like open circuit stub, either series stub or short circuit stub, it will try to radiate at the edge wherever the open structure is there. So that's why that because of that radiation we cannot able to achieve satisfactory performance. So that's why it is very much careful need to be taken at the higher frequency. And also the network which is operating over the wide frequency, so the open circuit is always a problem in the wide range of frequencies due to radiation effect. So that's why it is very much difficult to measure voltage and current at the higher frequencies for this even short and open circuit kind of thing. And also presence of active devices makes circuit unstable, because if you operate the microwave network over the wide range of frequencies, these active devices may not withhold uh, the same characteristics over the wide range of frequencies. So that's why it is very difficult to measure. So because of these reasons, so we need a scattering matrix. Directly we can measure from the power, which is uh, the voltage and current which is derived from the power. Okay, so this is the device as which we have seen earlier. So now how we can define the scattering matrix. So this is actually the definition: whatever the reflected voltage from any port, and these are the incident voltage. And this actually equation, it is derived from the um, transmission line theory itself. Okay, so this is the S matrix. And different ports, what is the S matrix value, the S parameter value. So S11 and S12, so particularly and corresponding port voltages you can define, and you can uh, define the S matrix. So the incident wave on all the ports except the J port are set to 0. That means if you want to measure any particular value of S matrix at any particular port, then you have to match all the other ports. So after matching all other ports, then we can measure what is the characteristic of particular port. Okay, so that means, so as I said, all the ports should be terminated in the matched load. Because if you don't terminate, definitely that other ports also going to reflect, and it will give the reflected energy. So that's why it is very difficult to measure the uh, port voltages for a particular port if you don't terminate the other ports. That's why it is very important to terminate the other ports with the matched load. If you terminate with the matched load, what will happen, the whatever the energy which is coming from the port, in that particular port, if you match, then the energy is absorbed by the that particular port wherever you are matched with that port with the matched load. So what exactly this matched load will do means, it will absorb the energy which is coming to that particular port. So you might have seen, so how it will be exactly. So there will be a like rectangular, if you see in the waveguide kind of thing, there will be a sharp absorber kind of thing. So the sharp kind of thing, that I will show what is matched load in the maybe the figure in the next class. Okay, so this is very important. So you have to match the particular port with the matched load, so to avoid the reflection, to characterize a particular port. So now how to calculate the, or what we can call it as a particular port value, that is SII. If the incident wave is from the port 1 and reflected wave is from the same port, which is we can call it as S11, which we call that one as a reflection coefficient. That is, whenever you incident the wave from port 1 and the some power due to mismatch of the impedance So the some wave will get reflect, and that ratio of that reflected wave to the transmitted wave, which we can call it as the reflection coefficient. And transmission coefficient, the transmission coefficient means how much power it is delivered from one port to the other port. So how much transmitted the power which is from port 1 to port 2 or port I to port J. In general, if you take any port, so I and J varies from 1 to N. Okay, so make sure that while doing this reflection and transmission coefficient calculation, as I said, all other ports should be terminated with the match load to avoid the reflection from those ports. So that is very important in characterizing this S parameters. Okay, so now if you want to say for example, if we calculate some particular port, say for example, if I take one port and if we calculate the S parameters for a particular network, say for example, if I take some network, okay, and this is some resistance, say 8.6 ohm and 8.56 ohm, and this is something around 144 ohm, 141. I take this value as 140, 1.8. Simple problem I am taking, how we can calculate that S parameters. 41.82. So just if I want to calculate, say for example, this is input side Zin, and this is output side, and this is port 2 and this is port 1. So since, if you see at this exact point, since the network is symmetric, okay, symmetric about this point, network is symmetric, so it possesses reciprocal. So if the symmetric matrix exists for or symmetric network, if it is there, then you will get S11 equal to 0 and S22 equal to 0. Okay, that we can prove this one by calculating what is Zin and terminating this port. Okay, so if I do that, so if I just terminate this with the matched load, that is 50 ohm, and if you calculate what is Zin, which is, so now what is S11? S11 is, so we can define it as V1 minus by V1 plus at V2 equal to V2 plus equal to 0. That means you have to terminate the second port so that there is no incident voltage. Now we have terminated that. Now what is the incident value and what is the reflected value? So that ratio of reflected by transmitted, we will get the S11, that we can call it as the reflection coefficient. That is at port 1, what is the reflection coefficient? Now in terms of impedance, how we can define the reflection coefficient? That is Zin at port 1 minus Z0 divided by Zin plus Z0. Okay, so now we need to calculate what is Zin. We don't know first what is the value of Zin. How we can calculate Zin? So now just use the series and parallel combination of these resistances and you can do it. Now this is a series, uh, it is there, and this total value it is parallel with this. Again it is the total value which is series in this resistor. Now what will be the value of this? It is, so now if you just take this one, so this network, so what will happen? So just if I take, this is 141.8 and this is 8.56 and this is 50, this is 8.56. So now if you calculate this one, generally use R1 R2 by R1 plus R2, that is 141.8 into 50 58, we can add this 58.56 divided by this value 141.8 plus 58.6. So now if you add this one to 8.56 which is there here, you will get the Z in value. Okay, so now what is the Z in value? So which comes out to be, just calculate how much it will come, which is 8.56 plus the value, how much it will come. So maybe this one comes around 41.44, you can calculate later. So now that Z in value which will be equal to 15. So now what is S11 or gamma 1 which will be defined here, which is equal to Z in minus Z0 divided by Z in plus Z0. So now the port impedance will be 50 ohm. So 50 minus 50 divided by 50 plus 50, which is equal to 0. So that's how we will get S11 as 0. In the similar way, you can find it out what is a S22 by matching this one. Okay. So now if I want to calculate what is S21, okay, I want S21, that is S21. So now what is S21? That is V2 minus by V1 plus. That is whatever the reflected value at the port 2 and what is the incident value at port 1. Now with the matched termination of other port. Okay. So if you so this matched termination, uh, yeah, so this match termination it is required, that is what is the reflected at 2 because this one, and what is the incident at 1. So with the termination of 2, this will give the transmission coefficient. So now if you want to calculate transmission coefficient, this we have to do. So since S11 equal to S22 equal to 0, what will happen, your V1 minus is 0 and V2 plus equal to 0. Because of this matched port at the port 2, it is 0 and there is no reflection because S11 is 0, that's why there is no reflection at the port 1, which is V1 minus equal to 0. So now if you put these values, what it will become, so this S21 will be, and port 2 we can terminate it in terms of Z0. Okay, if you terminate the port in terms of 50 ohm, that is Z0, so then you can descript the network as, that is V2 plus equal to 0, V1 minus equal to 0, and we can define V1 plus in terms of V, just we'll assume V, and V2 minus we can assume it as, so this we can assume it as V1 and this one we can assume it as V2. So now we can calculate what is S21, which is the transmission coefficient. So now we can determine as V2 minus, what is V2 minus, which is equal to V2, which is into the V1 times of, which is already we have find out that the parallel combination, that we can write it as 41.44 plus 8.56. Okay, so into 50 by 50 plus 8.56. So this is the network description for S21 value, which is S21 equal to V2 minus, so V2 minus by V1 plus. Okay, so now we know V2 minus, which we have defined it as V2, and V1 minus, which we have defined it as V1. So that we'll call it as V2 by V1, which is equal to S21, and in terms of the reflected and incident voltage, which is V2 minus by V1 plus, this will be given it as, so the value which is 0.707. So this is the value of S21. Okay, this is how you will get the network description, and also you can define it as what is the power delivered from port 1 to the port 2. So now uh, that also you can calculate. So what is the actual input power? So the input power you can define it as V1 by V1 square by 2Z0. So this is actually the power which is from the port 1, and if you want to calculate from port 2, so output power, so actually this is V1 in terms of the incident voltage, that is V1 plus square, and output port, what is the reflected voltage, that is V2 minus square. So generally you take magnitude values because we are not considering for the power calculation the phase values. Okay, so V2 square by 2Z0. Okay, so now this V2 square in terms of the S matrix you can take it as, so S21 into V1 plus magnitude square divided by 2Z0. So now this again you can write it as the power value which is equal to S21 square into V1 plus square by 2Z0. Okay, so which is nothing but so here it is completely square, so which is so here it is uh, S21 which is actually 0.70. S21 we have calculated which is 0.707 into V1 plus square by 2Z0. Okay, so now what is the power value? So the power value which will be equal to S21 square V1 plus square by 2Z0, which is equal to 0.707 square into V1 plus square by 2Z0. So now if you calculate this one, so how much you will get? It is giving half. Okay, half into V1 plus square by 2Z0, which is equal to half of your input power. Okay, so this is output power which you have calculated. So your power output which is coming from port 2, which is half of your input power, so that will be so calculated from this using the S parameters. So this is an example for your S matrix, using S matrix, that is S parameter calculation, as well as how we can able to calculate from for a particular circuit, how we can calculate. We'll do some problems later. This is just an example we can how we can calculate it. Okay, okay, so this is about the S matrix, and you can convert this S matrix in terms of Z or Y. So how we can calculate? Take the same equations, which is uh, the transmission line equation which is arrived, and take all the port impedances which is normalized, and it will taken it as 1. And if you take these equations, just if you take the first equation, or if you take the second equation, say for example In equal to Vn plus minus Vn minus. Okay, if you take the second equation, okay, In which is equal to V plus minus V minus. Okay, so now we can write or multiply Z in both the sides, which will be in just I am taking it as I. So here Z into V plus minus Z into V minus. Okay, just if you multiply this Z, and if you eliminate Z from this, or you can directly write it as this V, which is equal to Z into V plus minus Z into V minus. Now we know already, which can be equivalent to the V plus plus V minus. Okay, from the first equation, you might have seen here, from the first equation we know that what is V plus plus V minus, and we can equate that same equation into this one. So now what will happen? So this equation, if you just take this z into v minus this side and v plus this side, so you will get z into v plus minus v plus, which is equal to v plus z into v. So this is v minus, that is z into v minus. So now you can take v minus common and it will become z plus u. So this u is nothing but unitary matrix or identity matrix. Unitary matrix or identity matrix. Okay. So in the similar way here you can take v plus common, which is equal to z minus u. Okay. So the same equation which we arrived here, which is z plus u into v minus z minus u into v plus. So now this is the unitary matrix or identity matrix, we can call it as. So now, so this S matrix in terms of Z, so you can take it as reflected by incident voltage, that is V minus by V plus, and if you take this side you will get Z plus U inverse and into multiplied by Z minus U. So this is how you will get S matrix in terms of Z matrix. And if you want particular value of the S parameter at single port, so this is the equation. From this we can arrive this equation. Okay, Z11 minus by minus 1 by Z11 plus. And also this equation you can calculate what is Z. So in terms of rearrange this one, you will get the Z matrix in terms of S matrix. Okay, so this is how we will calculate the S matrix from the Z matrix. And similarly you can apply to Y matrix also, so that we can see later. Okay, so generally we use Z matrix most of the times, S to Z, Z to S. We generally don't use Y. Okay, so we'll stop here and we'll continue in the next class.